Spencer is here for Shawn Chenoweth Racing. I'm here with the Mastodon. We're talking all about 2015, and we're unloaded here at Sunset. Look how good that car looks. That looks awesome. The team's out there prepping it. You're getting ready for practice. So we're getting ready for round one of the season at Flamboro Speedway coming up next weekend. You got a packed schedule, my friend. So we'll start with the Thunder Car. Tell me a little bit about what you guys have done over the off season, because for a guy that won as many races as you did an awful lot of work on this car over the winter. Completely different setup getting ready for 2015.
Yeah, it could be really good news for the competition that I cut it all apart this winter. It could be really bad news if it works, but just a bunch of upgrades. They changed a little bit of the rules at Flamboro, so we just all that stuff I put into place, and we thought we'd come up here and shake it down.
So the car is going to be running full time at Flamboro. It's going to be a joint effort between yourself and your longtime London Recreational Racing teammate Brad Collison. Does it split right down the middle where you guys are doing equal number of races, or how does that work?
It's not right down the middle yet. It's kind of open. As it sits, there's about 14 nights I can do, and that leaves him with about 8. But I might take some off and just go down and help and let him drive. See if we can't tune it a little bit for his driving. And so right now it's looking 14 to 8, but we'll probably get it down closer to even, just so it's a good split. And then all the invitational stuff I'll do.
I mean, the OSCAAR Super Late Model season is also coming up, and I mean, you really made some waves late in the year last year. I believe you made 2 starts, if I'm not mistaken,
yep.
at the Velocity and the Autumn Colors Classic. Two really strong top 5 runs for that car, and you had people sort of worried a little bit. They were looking at that number 89C pretty hard. Are you getting ready for 2015 with that car, or is it just about ready to go now?
It's pretty much ready. I just got to do some shock and bump stop stuff up at McCall's, and just whatever's new this year we'll put into it again, but it's pretty much ready to go. We're pretty happy with the way it worked up at Autumn Colors, so we want to start there as a base and see where we can go from there.
Now, is there any tracks that sort of stick out that you're more excited to go to with the Super Late Model, because it's so much different than any other car you have in your fleet?
I can't be more pumped up to go to Flamboro with that car, just because obviously that's my home track. If I'm going to run good, I should be able to really stretch my legs there. And then coming up here, I'm starting to like this place more and more. Obviously we're here testing, which is something I've never done before. So here and probably Flamboro the most, and see what happens. Can't wait to get all the cars up to Sauble once and see what goes up there too.
I mean, you've had some great runs at Sauble before. I guess, are you expecting Sauble to drive relatively similar to Flamboro in the Super Late Model?
It does. Sauble's a little tighter, but the Flamboro setup works pretty good up there. Just a little bit of spring change in the front, but nothing major. So yeah, I'm hoping it really works good there. It worked well with this car last year, the track-to-track deal. So
I guess you have a relative base to work from your first 2 forays into Super Late Model racing, that you sort of know how the cars react. But from what I understand, this car is just a completely different animal from anything else you've owned OSCAAR wise.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the nicest, newest, best stuff I could buy to put on it. I think we're fully prepared to compete with the top guys. I'm not going to come out and say we're going to out and just blow them away, but I hope to be in that conversation in the top 5, top 10 cars for sure. I think we got the equipment, and I think I've matured a little bit. Maybe I'll be able to keep my car to the end and see what happens.
Now you're also doing a full season with the APC tour, or the car's going to do a full season. I guess you might have to do some driver shuffling or try to figure something out. That's a later problem. That's like
it's actually a really early problem. It's the second race. We definitely got a replacement driver in Andy Camrath. We're just not 100% sure what car I'm going to jam him into yet. But yeah, that APC deal looks strong. I think there's a lot of new cars, which is going to be, it might be tough, or it might help a little bit while the guys figure them out. I mean, I'm in Old Faithful there, my 2004 McCall Enterprise Dynamite car, but it's not the most current piece. It's actually Paul Law's now. He's just letting me drive it, so I kind of got the head up on that. I said to Andrew Dressel at the lettering shop, I said, this car you got here is way too nice to race. And he said, why? I said, well, I don't even own mine. Like, I'm going to hit shit. So he just kind of gave me that look, but I'm looking forward to that deal. It should be a lot of fun, that series.
So you're saying that Uncle Mike needs to go and get some fresh vinyl to slap on?
I don't even think you're good. That ABC series is going to be excellent race and lots of good cars, lots of great talent, but the downside of it is it's going to be 8 Autumn Colors races, one after another. There's going to be nothing but carnage, I think.
But I mean, it brought you out of retirement for Pro Late Model Racing, because you were done. You were finished. You were going to focus on your Super Stock and your Thunder Car and your Super Late Model. We brought you back out of retirement. What was it about the tour that piqued your interest right away?
Well, it's obviously something we wanted to do. We were kind of leaning towards heading into it to the second season of it. We were going to kind of sit back and watch this year and kind of figure out what kind of new car we wanted and what we were going to put in place. And then the deal came up with Paul for me to drive my old car, which I already know it's to stack it up against current late models in the province. It's right in the top group of cars for performance on any track. So that's something I couldn't say no to. Like, here, drive my car. have fun. Well, anybody would take that offer.
Now, I know that we don't have your sponsor list in front of you, so I'm not going to ask for all of them because you've got like an army of people supporting you.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a few that have made all this possible.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I think everyone's involved. I'm not going to be able to get y'all in because I don't have a list right in front of me, but there's probably 30 different people in 3 different cars. But I got to thank Bennett GM, obviously they're on all my cars, London Recreational, Castrol Edge, Midas of Orangeville, obviously giving me a car to use. Interkip Heating and Plumbing, Wilson Ponds, Ideal Brakes is on board this year, brand new sponsor for us. Transerve, heavy truck repair. There's so many sponsors.
That's good. That's even more than 4.
And Team Vincent Motorsports gave us this bad boy for the season to use. So
it's going to get wrapped too, from what I understand.
It's going this week to get wrapped with the Prolate, so it'll look pretty new.
Well, I can't wait to see you up at Sunset in the Prolate model in a few weeks, and the Super Late model for the Spring Velocity. Are you bringing the Thunder Car for that too? You're gonna bring the Super
We're gonna see how Brad makes out on Saturday night with it, and if it's still good to go, I might get him to drive around up for us.
There you have it, folks. He's gonna be easily the busiest man in the province on pavement this year. It's the Mastodon, Shawn Chenoweth. We're gonna do a lot more of these interviews. I'm pumped up, buddy. Have a great day of testing here, and we'll check back in with you at the Spring Velocity.